For many Dune fans, hype for the second installment and conclusion to Denis Villeneuve's sci-fi epic is at an all-time high. Heading into the final month before its release, many mysteries surrounding this particular adaptation remain. One of the greatest and most persistent being Lady Jessica's unborn daughter. For the first time, just weeks before the Dune Part 2 premiere, the official marketing campaign finally acknowledged the existence of Alia as her strangeness and unique abilities were teased. In this video, I'd like to discuss Time's exclusive interview with Dune Director Denis Villeneuve and what this tells us about the creative approach to portraying the bizarre powers of Alia Atreides. Spoiler warning if you are unfamiliar with Frank Herbert's Dune. Throughout the entire marketing campaign for the film, it was increasingly apparent that the production team was going out of their way to hide Alia Atreides, leading some to worry about the execution of her portrayal. In Part 1, Paul Atreides, whose prescient vision begins to awaken after his arrival on Arrakis, sees his future sister as an infant. Lady Jessica then confirms her recent pregnancy. This made Alia's absence from any of the marketing materials for the sequel even more baffling, leading to widespread speculation as to how Villeneuve intends to adapt this complex character. In an article covering Dune Part 2 from Time magazine, the writer gives a summary of the opening of the film and includes descriptive details of several characters. In this description, the character of Alia Atreides is alluded to. The article says, quote, "The opening of Dune Part 2 is just a springboard leap from the ending of the first installment. After the armies launched by Baron Vladimir Harkonnen retake the desert planet of Arrakis, thus reclaiming control of the planet's supply of that valuable psychotropic commodity known as spice, Paul Atreides, heir of the peace-seeking House Atreides, and his mother Lady Jessica, who belongs to a powerful mystical sisterhood, flee into the desert. There, Paul meets a girl he has seen in premonitions, Zendaya's willful and wise Chani. From this point, the story unspools to include a psychopathic Harkonnen heir, a possible future interplanetary princess, and an embryo who advises her mother from the womb. As you likely concluded, this embryo is none other than Alia, daughter of Duke Leto Atreides and Lady Jessica. This is the first acknowledgement from marketing materials of not just her inclusion in the continued story of Dune, but also her strange abilities. At the Comic-Con experience in Brazil, attendees were able to see an exclusive sneak peek of the first 10 minutes of the film, where the footage description details Paul Atreides talking to his sister, the unborn child that Lady Jessica carries in her belly. Without additional context for this footage, this seems to merely have been a scene of Paul addressing her as if she were physically present, speaking affectionately to his yet-to-be-born sister. Needless to say, this did little to appease fans, as they already knew of Lady Jessica's pregnancy. What fans remained eager to see was what takes place during and after awakening to full consciousness in her mother's womb. This line from Time magazine offers a glimpse into Alia's character after this awakening. This occurs after her mother, Lady Jessica, endures the Spice Agony ritual, also known as the Water of Life ceremony, completing her transformation into a full-fledged Reverend Mother. This is a dangerous and painful rite in which Jessica must ingest a fatal concentration of spice essence and transform it within her body, rendering it non-lethal. Afterwards, she is awarded access to the knowledge, memories, and personalities of all her female ancestors, as well as those passed on to her by the wild Fremen Reverend Mother Ramallo. However, her pregnancy at the time of this ritual would result in the change of both the mother and her unborn daughter. From a book perspective, the idea of an embryo advising her mother would be most likely to occur during this Water of Life ritual. This is one of the wildest parts of the book because it features the abstract concept of Jessica seeing with the inward eye. This moment has certainly been challenging to portray, and in past adaptations has ended up being one of the most bizarre and otherworldly scenes in the story. Admittedly though, certain questions arise regarding what exactly Alia could be advising her mother about at this particular moment if the Water of Life ceremony is indeed the time that this communication happens. In the novel, after Jessica has transformed the poison and is poised to receive this other memory, her daughter as an embryo is a mote presence in Jessica's mind. The communication between them is just base emotions. Her daughter's presence is at first frantic, radiating pure terror. The litany against fear was useless. Only by emanating love and comfort could Jessica soothe her child. The needs of the tribe were paramount, and the Fremen Reverend Mother had no choice but to proceed with the ceremony. In order for Jessica's daughter to survive the ordeal, she too had to absorb the flood of countless lives and memories along with her mother. In this instant, Jessica's daughter Alia was pre-born, essentially becoming a grown woman in a child's body, a full Reverend Mother even before her birth. This unnatural state is dubbed abomination by the Bene Gesserit. Following this transformational event, Alia emerges with remarkable knowledge, positioning her as an advisor with unparalleled insight and superhuman abilities. Her communication with her mother as an embryo with this knowledge is likely intended as a way to lay the groundwork for her quasi-telepathic abilities seen later in the story. The ability referenced here, while described as Alia advising her mother from the womb, suggests a nuanced concept that likely extends beyond mere telepathy. The words hint at a fundamental idea, yet the actual portrayal of this communication, especially following the spice agony ritual, involves a more intricate form of enhanced awareness rather than a simple telepathic exchange. At one point in the story, where Alia is the age of a toddler, it appears as though she is projecting her thoughts to the Emperor's truthsayer, Reverend Mother Mohiam. However, Mohiam definitively states it is not telepathy, clarifying that Alia is actually in her mind, saying, "She's like the ones before me, the ones who gave me their memories. She stands in my mind. She cannot be there, but she is." Another facet of this concept was revealed when Paul detected Alia's hidden presence within his prescient visions to deliver a message to him. She described this ability saying, "I have breasted the future to place my words where only you can hear them." Breasted means to move forward against or through the future to place her message where only Paul, with his prescient abilities, could detect. Again, this is a more abstract way of communication that requires delicacy to accurately portray. It was previously rumored by writer and producer Chris Gore from the Film Threat YouTube channel that Villeneuve and team were trying something new with Alia and that they weren't sure how it was going to work out. The director is a perfectionist, so it's understandable why there was a media blackout of this character in the Dune Part 2 promotion. While many fans are eager to see a deeper exploration of the more esoteric elements of the novel, in the past, and no doubt as Villeneuve's trilogy continues, these concepts will likely continue to be streamlined or made more easily digestible for the sake of creating an entertaining film. Villeneuve was quoted in this same interview saying, "When you adapt, you kill, you destroy in the process of transformation, going from the words to the image. This adaptation is my adaptation with my sensibility." This is the unfortunate truth of adaptation from a rich story with such complex mythology to a succinct visual format. Nevertheless, what remains the most important is that the spirit and message of Frank Herbert's story is maintained. The filmmaker's approach in attempting to accomplish this was revealed when he said, quote, "I was trying to be, as a filmmaker, as invisible as possible. I tried my best to keep the poetry of the book, the atmosphere, the colors, the smell, everything that I felt when I read the book. I tried." At the end of the day, should Villeneuve succeed in authentically capturing the essence of Alia's powers in both Dune Part 2 and Dune Messiah, it stands to be a compelling encouragement for fans to explore the richness of these concepts in the source material. Although the adaptation process is imperfect and at times violent, if he is able to capture the spirit of the bizarre in Herbert's work, his efforts would undeniably be marked as a resounding triumph. But I'm curious to know what you think about this new information surrounding Alia Atreides. What do you think of the concept of Alia advising her mother from the womb? And do you have any theories as to how an adaptation should handle her story and portrayal? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did, and be sure to subscribe for more Dune and other sci-fi and fantasy news and lore. And if you're looking for other ways to show your appreciation, you can check out my Patreon page, where members get access to exclusive content and perks. Thank you all so much for your support, and as always, have a very nerdy day.